Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to No Brakes TV, bringing you the ISTRA Ice Bowl 200 from Martinsville. Right now, the drivers in the last chance qualifier are on track and practicing. Got about 4 minutes of practice left, and they will qualify. From what I'm told, it will be a 35-lap race. The top 3 finishers will transfer into tonight's ISTRA Ice Bowl race. That will give us a 35-car field for tonight. 26 cars were locked in from the heat races all week long. Last 2 were yesterday afternoon. Just a little bit ago, we finished up the 50-lap B-Main. In that race, we saw Brandon Anderson and Parker Travs and others transfer into the race. 6 drivers from that transferred. The last, I'd say, 15 laps of that race were crazy. Guys were beating and banging and racing hard. It was a good run by most. Others had bad luck, and they are here in this last chance qualifier. You got Garrett Lamb, Ryan Messer, Jarrett Liebert, Dave Cassidy, John Michael Chenette, who I don't believe was in the B-Main. So I'm not sure how that's going to work. I believe you had to run the B-Main to be in this race, so we'll have to check in on that one. Jonathan Sanford, Jeff Conover, Jason Miller, Donovan Stevens, Jesse Johnston, Daryl Chidrick, and Jason Taylor and Evan Osborne are your field for this race. I'm going to have to double check here on Chenette real quick. I'm not sure how that will work. Right now in practice, Garrett Lamb is your fast time with a 19.438. Dave Cassidy second with a 19.463. Saw both of them get caught up in an incident late in the B-Main. Talking to the admin, John Michael Chenette made the admins aware that he could not make the B-Main, so he was allowed to run the LCQ. In the drivers' meeting here after qualifying, the guys are going to pick how many laps they run, whether it is 35 or 50. So we will listen in on the drivers' meeting here in a little bit and see how that goes. Go look at some more paint jobs. Jason Miller has a pretty cool paint job on his car. Green and purple and black and white. Says it's Miller time on the back. Mike Wood Race Designs on that car. Cassidy, Messer, Johnston, we talked about. Garrett Lamb has a paint scheme that I've seen quite a few drivers have. And I don't know if it's a team or just, random guys running the same paint scheme or what. But it's a really nice looking scheme. It's like baby blue and gray and white. Cool looking car. Let's see. John Michael Chenette, Dynasty Motorsports. Number 82 entry. Red, black, and white. Sharp looking scheme on that. Scroll further back. Daryl Tidrick has a Red Bull scheme. Black, gray, blue, and white Red Bull car. Number 45. Looks like Jeff Conover has a base iRacing scheme. Just blue, gray, black, and yellow. Donovan Stevens with a throwback Days of Thunder car. The Hardee's entry. Mike Wood Race Designs also on the back of that car. Talked about Jesse Johnston's car in the B-Main. Looks like qualifying just getting ready to roll right now. right now. Jason Miller, Jesse Johnson, Donovan Stevens, Jeff Conover, David Cassidy, Ryan Messer, Daryl Tidrick, John Michael Chenette, Jonathan Sanford, Garrett Lamb, Jarrett Liebert, Evan Osborne, and Jason Taylor are taking times for the last chance qualifier for tonight's ISTRA Ice Bowl. Once again, would like to thank Josh Smith with Finish First Designs for the new layovers for No Breaks TV. Thank you, Josh. Times are starting to come in. Let's see what we've got. David Cassidy right now, fast time 19.384. Picked up almost a 10th from practice. Garrett Lamb second with a 19.414. Jeff Conover third, 19.496. Ryan Messer, 19.527. Jonathan Sanford, 19.554. Jason Taylor, 19.617. Donovan Stevens, 19.628. Jesse Johnston, 19.655. Evan Osborne with a 681. Daryl Tidrick with a 745. And Jarrett Liebert with a 755. Jason Miller way off the pace at a 20.031. Miller picked it up on the second lap at a 19.871, but he will still start last in this 13-car field. Drivers' meeting going on right now. About 2.5 minutes to the grid for the race. Looks like right now there's a vote going on between all the drivers as to whether it is going to be 30 laps or 40 laps. The race is going to be 40 laps. Last 10 laps will not count. So the top three will be locked in, and fourth and fifth finishers in this will be alternate entries. So if somebody cannot make it, those two drivers will come into the race and make the field for tonight. Just over a minute. Just about a minute until the grid will get ready to roll off for this last chance qualifier. 40 laps. Listening to it on Race Chatter while we're sitting here. Some of these guys are funny. Somebody asked the admin how he could make the field, and the admin told him paint his car like Brad Keselowski's or let his wife drive. That's pretty interesting. So once again, the field is set. 40 laps. Dave Cassidy will be on the pole. Garrett Lamb, Jeff Conover, Ryan Messer, Jonathan Sanford, John Michael Chenette, Jason Taylor, Donovan Stevens, Jesse Johnston, Evan Osborne, Daryl Tidrick, Jarrett Liebert, and Jason Miller. That is our 13 car field for this last chance qualifier. We will go 40 laps. Top 3 will transfer, and 4th and 5th are alternate entries for tonight's Ice Bowl. The grid is set. They're sitting there waiting for the pace car to roll. Cassidy on the inside. Lamb on the outside. Conover, Messer, Sandfort rounded out the top 5. Once again in this race, caution laps do not count in the last 10 laps. That goes as well for the feature tonight. Car's still sitting on the grid, just getting ready to roll. Field is rolling for this 40-lap last chance qualifier. Dave Cassidy and Garrett Lamb side by side on the front row. In the B main, they were 3 wide. Cassidy had contact with another car, and Lamb was down low with another car that was behind them, 3 wide. Came up, made contact with the car in the middle, and they all wrecked. So didn't work out well for either one of them. Here they are in the last chance qualifier, starting on the front row, though. See how it goes for them. Jason Miller bringing up the field in the Mike Woods Race Design Miller Time car in the back. Murdoch tire on that car. Also, nice car. Looks like the pace car is off. Cassidy and Lamb side by side through turn 3. Green flag is out. Cassidy gets the jump down into turn 1, clears Lamb. Lamb tries to tuck in, no room. The 41 car wrecks at the back of the field. Looks to me like the 41 of Evan Osborne tried to get down into a hole, and the 45 of Daryl Tidrick just had that much of a run on him and caught him in the left rear, sent him into the inside wall. 41 car is done for the event. Evan Osborne's chances of making the Ice Bowl 200 go up in smoke. Out front, Dave Cassidy. 13 car. Garrett Lamb in the 16. Second. Still pacing behind the pace car right now. In my mind, looking through this field, the car to watch that I have seen is going to be this number 1 car, Ryan Messer. Messer from Canada runs the Maritime iRacing League and ran really, really well the other night in their league, which was at Martinsville with the same setup and everything that is being run tonight. So Cassidy as well was also in that league. So they got a little bit of practice on what these cars do on long runs. So see how it works out for them. And quite a few Canadians in the field, actually. Looking through for guys who are already locked into the race. Stephen Matthews. Stephen Matthews from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Andre Fiorini from Port Hope, Ontario, Canada. Jake Goodwin, Amherst, Nova Scotia, Canada. And also Ashton Tucker. Also Mike Rhino is from Canada as well. He locked in out of the B-Main. So large Canadian presence for this race. Looks like the pace car's off. We're going to go green. Cassidy and Lamb on the front row. Once again, Cassidy gets a good jump. Does not clear Lamb. Lamb to his outside. Right at his numbers. Going into turn 1. Cassidy's clear now. Here comes the number 4 of Jeff Conover into third. He is now clear of Ryan Messer. Right behind Messer is Jonathan Sandfort. John Michael Chenette also could be a car to watch in this. Did not run the B-Main, but could be a car to watch to be one there at the end. Battle right now is between the 10 of Sandfort and John Michael Chenette in 5th. Sandfort on the bottom, Chenette on the outside. Sandfort clears him. Here comes the 22 car, Jason Taylor, to make contact and cause a wreck. Taylor filled the hole. Chenette to his outside. Taylor came off the corner and just looks like he just kind of moved up just slightly. Chenette got into him. Got loose, hooked him in his right rear, collected the 14 car of Jarrett Liebert. The 5 of Donovan Stevens looks like he got a piece. The 45 of Daryl Tidrick also got involved. Taylor and Liebert both out after that incident. Going through the field, it looks like the 86 of Miller has some damage. Donovan Stevens has quite a bit of damage on the left front and right rear of his Hardee's Mike Wood Race Designs car. Daryl Tidrick's front end is all tore up. John Michael Chenette's car is really, really hurt. He was one of the main causes of that accident. Jesse Johnston's right side of his car is all tore up. The 10 of Sandfort, though, his car still looks pretty clean so far. The transfer spot battle between Conover and Messer was just starting to heat up, I believe. Messer looked like he was just starting to get into it and get right back up on the bumper of the 4 car, and caution came out once again. So we're down to 10 cars. 10 cars is all that remains. 3 transfer out of this. We are on lap 14 of 40 in this last chance qualifier for the ISTRA Ice Bowl 200 at Martinsville Speedway. That race will come to you live right here on No Brakes TV shortly later on tonight. The field will be set. That race will kick off with practice, and then practice speeds determine qualifying. They will qualify, and then it is a 200 lap race. Looks like we're going green this time by Cassidy, Lamb, Conover, Messer, your top four. Sanford and Jesse Johnson sitting 5th and 6th. Chenette, who has a lot of damage, and Donovan Stevens sitting in row 4. Green is out. Cassidy gets a good jump out front again. Lamb tucks in behind him. Oh, big shot from behind from the 10 of Sanford to the 4 of Conover. Messer gets a run on the outside of Lamb, or on Conover, excuse me. Messer on the outside, Conover on the inside, side by side. This is the transfer spot for this last chance qualifier. Messer with the advantage right now by about a half a car. Here comes Sanford trying to fill the hole now. Messer up on the outside, caught up there. Conover on the bottom. Behind them, cars weaving, bobbing all over. John Michael Chenette looking for a way by the 10 car. Couldn't find one, tucked back into position. Coming off of 4, once again, Conover and Messer side by side. Conover clears Messer going into turn 1. Here comes Sanford to fill the hole. Messer will clear him off of 2. Messer's clear, gets back in line. Sanford runs a bead on him down into 3. Can't do anything with them. They're nose to tail coming out of turn 4. Cassidy and Lamb have pulled away by about 5 car lengths over Conover. Behind that, you have Chenette. Right at the back of this 4-car train, you have Conover, Messer, Sanford, Chenette running nose to tail up off turn 4. About a half a straightaway back, you have Miller and Johnston, Tidrick, and Stevens about a half a track behind the leaders. Still single file up front. Oh, Chenette gets into Sanford and spins him coming off of turn 4. Looking back on that, going into turn 3, Chenette was about a car length and a half back and just ran in there. I don't know if the 10 checked up a little more, or looks like he got a little tight going into the corner. The 82 slid underneath him and just turned him. Got him right in the left rear and sent him around. So, tough break for the 82 and the 10. They were running 5th and 6th. So now, the top 4 will stay the same. It's Cassidy, Lamb, Conover, and Messer, your top 4. Jason Miller moves into 5th. Not sure what's going to happen with that last caution. Chenette is listed 6th, but I have not seen anybody get into the longest line on that last wreck, so not sure what's going to happen. So he is 6th. Tidrick is listed 7th, Donovan Stevens 8th, Jonathan Sanford 9th, and Jesse Johnston rounds out the field of cars that are still on track. Jason Taylor, Jarrett Liebert, Evan Osborne are in the pits and done for the afternoon. Looks like the 26 car of Jesse Johnston is actually done as well. He's on pit road, so there are 9 cars left on track. Sanford, Stevens, Tidrick, Chenette, Miller, Messer, Conover, Lamb, and Cassidy. Lap 25 being run right now. Lap 25 of 40. 15 to go. This race is just heating up. Looks like the field's starting to double up. Going green this time by Cassidy on the inside, Lamb on the outside, Conover third, Messer fourth, Miller fifth, Chenette sixth. So I'm guessing Sanford took the blame for the wreck because Chenette is still in his spot. So here they come through 3 and 4, and the green is out. Cassidy gets a good jump again. Lamb up on his right rear quarter, still hanging tough. Lamb drives in very deep into the corner. Cassidy gets the run through the corner. Lamb back to his quarter panel right now, going into turn 3. Door to door through 3 and 4. Lamb slides up a little bit. Cassidy clears him going down the straightaway. Lamb gonna look low. Nope, gonna tuck back in. Here comes Messer to the outside. Oh, big trouble going into the corner. Didn't see who that was, just saw cars everywhere. Go back to the start-finish line. The 10 car gets a run on the 45. Looks like the 45 just turns left on him, and they both go into the wall. So the 10 of Sanford, the 45 of Tidrick involved. Heavy damage to both vehicles. Ten laps to go right now. 10 laps. We're on lap 30 of 40. Caution laps will not count from here out, so there will be 10 to go on this restart. Right now in your transfer spot, Dave Cassidy, Garrett Lamb, Ryan Messer, 1, 2, 3, Conover, Chenette, Miller, 4, 5, 6, Tidrick, Sanford, Stevens round out the field. Looks like Sanford actually just went on pit road, so he will be done for the afternoon. So that will leave 8 cars to battle it out for these 3 transfer spots. Cassidy and Lamb side by side in row 1. Messer and Conover in row 2. Chenette and Miller in 3. And looks like Tidrick and Stevens will round out the cars that are on track. Looks like we'll be getting 1 to go this time by. Right now, the fastest car that I've seen on track is the 16 car of Lamb at a 19.693. Dave Cassidy second with a 715. Messer with a 724. The whole top 5 are all very, very close. Coming to green this time by Cassidy on the inside, Lamb on the outside. Messer and Conover right behind them. Pace cars in, we're going green. Cassidy gets a large jump. Messer looked like he caught Messer sleeping a little bit. Cassidy and Lamb drive into 1 and 2. The whole field right behind them, but down the straightaway, they're about 3 or 4 car lengths ahead. First, second, and third, single file. Back to fourth right now. You've got Chenette in fourth, Conover in fifth, Miller in sixth. Miller looking underneath the Conover right now. Cassidy, Lamb, Messer, Chenette, Conover, Miller way up the track in 3 and 4. Top 3 cars have about 3 car lengths on that wounded and battered 82 car of John Michael Chenette. He's been involved in multiple collisions tonight, and that car just looks horrible. The spoiler is bent in the middle, and the nose is destroyed on it. Battle right now. Looks like Garrett Lamb right on the back bumper of the 13 of Cassidy through the corner. Messer right behind him. Oh, Chenette pulls in and gives a bump to Messer. Lamb all over Cassidy's back bumper. Messer right on his. Here's Chenette and Conover. Top 5. Throw a blanket over them. They're all right there. One mistake and the transfer spots are going to change. 5 to go this time by. Looks as if Lamb and Messer are a little bit quicker than Cassidy, but Cassidy staying out front. Chenette fell back a little bit. Lamb gives a shot to Cassidy. Messer gets into him. Chenette gets into him. Conover gets into Chenette. Just a chain reaction between the top 5 cars. That gives Cassidy a little bit of room, but Lamb reels him right back in again. Messer right behind him. 3 to go this time by. 3 laps to go. Dave Cassidy trying to hold on to this last chance qualifier. Oh, Ryan Messer gets on the curb and loses it. Ryan Messer in the transfer spot. Looked like he just got the left sides up on the curb just a little bit, and that was it. Looks like going into 3, John Michael Chenette was a few car lengths back. Got a large run on the 1 car of Ryan Messer. Drove down in, got right to his back bumper. When he did, he got into Messer, put Messer up on the curb. John Michael Chenette will go to the rear. Messer is back there as well. He will not get a spot back because iRacing does not allow that. So right now, Jeff Conover is in 3rd. Miller is in 4th. According to radio communications, everybody feels the leader is holding everybody up. But at this point, he's still leading, so I'd say it's okay. I believe there's going to be 2 laps to go. I believe this is going to be a green-white checker. Three laps to go. Will not be a green-white checker. It will be 3 laps to go. A lot of banter back and forth between drivers in here. Fun to listen to. They're not talking very nicely to each other right now. Going green next time by. You'll have one lap to green. 3 laps to go in the race. Out front, you have Dave Cassidy in the 13 car. Has led every lap so far. Garrett Lamb, hot on his heels, right on his outside. Jeff Conover running 3rd. Jason Miller 4th. Daryl Tidrick in the 45 5th. Donovan Stevens 6th. And Ryan Messer and John Michael Chenette rounding out the field after their contact. Bring up the yellow. Pace cars in. We're going green. Cassidy with a big jump again. Lamb went wide on the restart. Cassidy clears him. Lamb has to check up a little bit, allows Conover to stick his nose in there. Contact in the back between Messer and the 45 of Tidrick will bring the caution out. Messer and Chenette were both quicker, and they ran up on that 45 of Tidrick and looked like he lifted a little earlier than the one car did, and Messer just got into the back of him and sent him around. So next time we go green, it will be a green-white checker. There are only 2 attempts at a green-white checker, so if the caution comes out during the second one, once they race to the checkered, it's official. Right now, Cassidy, Lamb, Conover, still 1, 2, 3. Miller just outside the transfer spot in the 86 car. Chenette, who we know is quick, sitting 5th right now. Drama is about to unfold, folks. This is going to be big. These guys have 2 laps remaining to battle it out for the final transfer spot in tonight's Ice Bowl 200, presented by ISTRA. Ryan Messer was in the transfer spot earlier. Ended up in the last 2 cautions, is sitting 7th. Will he have enough to get back by Stevens, Chenette, Miller, and Conover in transfer? I don't see it, but you never know. This is Martinsville. Anything could happen. Tidrick, the 45, tail end of the lead lap right now, right in front of the leader of Cassidy. 1 to go. He'll get a wave around, pass the pace car, catch back up to the field. Jason Miller pretty much kept his nose clean, sitting there in 4th position right now. Anything could happen. You know, he's been just hanging out, waiting for somebody to mess up. So he might be in a really good spot here. I don't know. Cassidy, Lamb, Conover, Miller, Chenette, your top 5. Donovan Stevens, 6th. Messer, Tidrick, the last car still on track in this last chance qualifier for the Ice Bowl 200. Back double file, ready to go back green. Cassidy and Lamb on the front row. Admins delayed the caution to let somebody catch up. First attempt at a green-white checker. One to go, this time by for Dave Cassidy. Garrett Lamb, Jeff Conover, your top 3 in your transfer spots. Jason Miller sitting 4th, John Michael Chenette 5th. Chenette running into Conover under yellow. Pace car's off. Dave Cassidy with a big jump again. Lamb tried to time the start. Cassidy just out-timed him there. Cassidy clear out front. Conover and Lamb side by side for second and third. White flag this time by for Dave Cassidy. Chenette right there for the transfer spot. Chenette right on Lamb's back bumper. Miller right behind them. Anything could happen. Here they come. Chenette drives in deep. Gets a bumper to the 16. Puts it to him. Will not work. Dave Cassidy, your winner of the last chance qualifier, followed by Jeff Conover and Garrett Lamb. So your field is set. I believe it's 35 cars set for the Ice Bowl 200. "35 of the best iRacing drivers in the super late models at Martinsville Speedway." There have been over 100 cars, I believe, officially now. After the B-Main, there have been over 100 cars that showed up. Going to try to get a word with Seth Frazier here in just a moment. He is the promoter of ISTRA. Every year, I've been on iRacing quite a while. I've known Seth for a long time. And Seth promotes these large races, and it could be late models. It could be, he said, open wheel modifieds, the wheel modifieds at the Bull Ring. He said, all sorts of different races, and some of the best show up to run them. Paul Kashiba is one of the best. He won, I want to say it was called the Shamrock 100. It was a modified race at the Bull Ring at Las Vegas. Thomas Axum won this race last year. Those were the first ones I've really been involved in. Garrett Lamb, it's your last transfer spot out of New England. Once again, quite a few drivers from New England in the field. Jeff Conover from Greenville, North Carolina, also one of your drivers that transferred out of here. Dave Cassidy, another Canadian in the field as well. So while we've got a little bit of a break here, seeing if we can get an interview with the promoter, would like to thank Mike Wood for painting quite a few paints for these guys, and also helping out sponsor this. Dante Curtis Designs also, and No Brakes TV. You guys stepped up and helped out, so really appreciate that. Trying to get word of when the server will go up for the feature. He's still in the interview. But going over some logistics for tonight, once again, we'll cover a few things. We did it earlier in the B main. 0 quick repairs. Only 6 tires in the pit stall. So if your car gets jacked up 3 times, that is taking 6 tires. Whether you do it on accident or not, that is considered taking your tires. Qualifying time will be practice times inverted. That is the order for qualifying. If you do not practice, you do not qualify. Just like the LCQ and the B main, last 10 laps, no caution laps will count, and you'll get 2 attempts at green white check. The payout for tonight: first gets $40 and a trophy, second gets $25, third gets $10, hard charger gets $10, least amount of incidents get $10, and the best paint job is going to be voted on by people in the live stream this evening, and they will vote for who the best paint job is, and that person will get $10. All right, gonna pull down Seth Frazier here. Have a little chat with him. Seth, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it. I know you've got a lot going on getting ready for this A main and everything, so thanks for coming down.
Yeah.
Give us a little background on ISTRA and how you got started.
Well, a few years back, we had another league called IRTNT. We ran for a couple of years, and actually, it was also a group where you could also share other info for iRacing stuff. And we decided that the group got so big that we were having a hard time really, I guess, getting information out to people. So we started a new one, basically, and it's basically just a short track league that we just host a few big races every year. So right now the plan is to have a few more big races here the next couple of months and just have 4 or 5 large events like this one. First Ice Bowl we did was about 3 or 4 years ago, and then we took a year off, and then we decided to make it an annual deal. So this is the second year we've done it back to back, and the third time we've ran the Ice Bowl.
Now you get some of the biggest names on iRacing. I mean, I know you and I have talked about Ty Majeski's running for you, and I mean, like I said, Paul Kashiba and guys like this. What's it mean for those guys to show up?
Well, I think people like to put themselves up against the stiffest competition on iRacing, and the guys that really want to be the top dog, they're going to go out and look for the car count to race against. So I think more than putting up a purse or broadcast or anything else, I think the most important thing for those guys is just to race against the competition. So I think that's why they come out, and it definitely makes so you can see where you stack up against those guys, you know.
Now tonight, how's the rest of the schedule look for tonight?
Well, we're going to put up a room here in about 40 minutes. It's going to have either a 20 or 30-minute practice. We're still talking about that in TeamSpeak, trying to figure that out. But we're going to have a quick practice, and then basically we're going to flip the practice times upside down. So slowest car in practice will go out first, fastest will go out last. Everyone will get 2 laps for qualifying, and then after qualifying, we're going to do a quick driver's meeting, and then we're going to start up the Ice Bowl 200.
What time does that practice kick off?
Top of the hour, so 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. West Coast, 7 p.m. Central Time.
That's awesome. All right, man, I appreciate you coming down. I know you got a busy schedule trying to get everything ready for this, so thanks for chatting with me.
Yep, thanks for doing this, you guys. Have fun.
Seth Frazier, promoter for ISTRA. All right, guys, well, we'll sign off for this one. Phil Ellis. Thanks for joining me for this last chance qualifier for the ISTRA Ice Bowl. We'll see you here in about 40 minutes for the A main. I'll be joined by Mike Wood from Mike Wood Race Designs. He'll be joining me in the booth for that one. And also hope to have Justin Gledhill, another guy that helps us out. Hopefully he'll come in and help us out too. So we'll see everybody here in 40 minutes here on No Breaks Television.